Honey, you like this?
An intimate relationship. Investigators saw video of inappropriate behavior. The activity had gone on for a while.
Some female officers have gone from guardians to violators, crossing the lines of duty with the very inmates they're supposed to guide and protect.
You let me put you in it?
Yeah.
With a gag ball and everything?
Yeah, babe.
From a female cop caught having sex with an inmate in the presence of over 10 others, to another doing it in a store cupboard, these officers betrayed their duty in the most unimaginable ways. Brace yourself as we uncover the stories of 10 female cops who went too far with teen inmates. Number 10. Jordan Traynor. Kicking off our list is the story of a young officer whose battles with isolation led her to find connection in all the wrong places. 25-year-old Jordan Traynor began working as a prison officer at a young offender institution in June of 2018. Her role, like many in law enforcement, was guided by a desire to serve and protect. Outwardly, she appeared calm and composed in her duties. However, beneath the surface, Traynor struggled with a complex personal life that would soon impact her career in unexpected ways. After relocating to Yorkshire to support her husband's career, Traynor faced intense feelings of isolation. She was far from familiar surroundings, and her husband's increasing distance, especially during his training course, left her feeling abandoned. In this unfamiliar place, Traynor's London accent made her a target of workplace mockery, which only added to her feelings of alienation in an environment where teamwork and unity are crucial. These combined pressures led Traynor toward harmful coping methods, including alcohol, to manage her loneliness and frustration. In this vulnerable state, she began seeking connection, and surprisingly, found it with two 17-year-old inmates. What started as friendly conversations quickly crossed into dangerous territory. Traynor began sending flirtatious and then overtly sexual text messages to one of the inmates. As her involvement deepened, Traynor escalated her actions by taking explicit photos of herself, printing them at work, and passing them on to the inmate. Her decisions were not only unethical, but also posed serious legal implications. Her conduct didn't stop at communication and photos. Traynor went further, smuggling parcels into the institution at the request of one of the boys. Although she claimed that she believed the parcels contained only phones, which is itself a violation of prison regulations, the prosecution argued that she was fully aware of the risks involved in smuggling contraband. Meanwhile, Traynor's relationship with the inmates continued to deepen. She also sent explicit messages and photos to a second 17-year-old inmate, and their connection reportedly turned physical, with the inmate touching her on 3 separate occasions. Eventually, rumors of Traynor's conduct began circulating within the institution. On December 23, 2019, officials conducted a search of the 2 inmates' cells, where they discovered 3 mobile phones. Upon examining these devices, they uncovered extensive communication that revealed the full extent of Traynor's involvement with the inmates. The fallout from this discovery was immediate. Traynor was arrested and later sentenced to 18 months in prison. While Traynor's loneliness led her down a risky path, the next officer's naivety led her down hers. Number 9. Joanne Hunter. Joanne Hunter's journey began with promise. As a young woman with a master's degree in childhood and youth studies, she was eager to make a positive impact on society. Her first big opportunity came in December 2018, when she landed a job as a prison officer at HMP Forest Bank in Salford. She was determined to face the challenges of her new role and succeed in a demanding environment. But what started as a career with bright potential would soon take a dark turn. It all began when Hunter met Connor Willis, a notorious inmate with a reputation for arrogance and a history of gang involvement. Known for his aggressive behavior and influence within the prison, Willis was anything but a model inmate. Initially, Hunter disliked Willis, finding his attitude repulsive. But it wasn't long before Willis sensed her inexperience and vulnerability and began to use his charm to manipulate her. Playing on Hunter's naivety, he convinced her that he was in love with her. wrapping her in a web of deceit and false promises. By early 2019, Hunter was under Willis's influence, and their relationship had become more than professional. He began asking her to smuggle packages into the prison. Although she knew the risks, Hunter couldn't refuse. She met an unknown woman at a Tesco supermarket, collected the packages, and brought them into the prison, passing them to one of Willis's gang associates. Willis offered to pay her between £200 and £300 for each package, but Hunter refused to take the money, acting solely out of her misguided belief in his love. Hunter's descent into criminal activity was swift. By December 2020, prison authorities were growing suspicious. They had received information linking her to smuggling, and an investigation was launched. Under pressure during questioning by security managers, Hunter confessed to her relationship with Willis and admitted to smuggling the packages, but her confession only revealed the tip of the iceberg. When investigators searched her belongings, they found explicit photos and messages she had sent to Willis. Some messages included requests from Willis for different substances. The evidence was undeniable. Further investigation revealed that the packages Hunter had collected contained juice cartons and Red Bull cans coated with drugs. Her actions had compromised prison security, leading to heightened criminal activity, discipline issues, and an increased risk of violence within the facility. In court, Hunter pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit misconduct in public office and bringing cannabis into the prison. Her lawyer, Richard Orme, argued that she was a naive, impressionable, and vulnerable young woman who had fallen prey to Willis's manipulative tactics. Orme described Hunter as ripe for picking for an unscrupulous criminal, pointing out that she had never been in a serious relationship before and had focused entirely on her studies. He further argued that Hunter was a fish out of water in the intense environment of a prison, making her an easy target for Willis's deception. Ultimately, Hunter was sentenced to 3 years in prison. The judge emphasized that her actions had struck at the heart of the criminal justice system, justifying the severity of her sentence. While naivety played a role in the last story, the next officer's scandal was anything but innocent. Number 8. Imari Waller. At 25, Imari Waller had a critical role at Adobe Mountain School in Phoenix, a youth correctional institution focused on guiding young offenders toward rehabilitation and reintegration. Waller joined this challenging environment in January 2019, bringing a fresh face to a team dedicated to shaping the future of these young individuals. Her daily duties included supervising activities, ensuring safety, and supporting rehabilitation efforts. However, her story took a sudden turn when another officer reported seeing inappropriate Snapchat messages between Waller and an 18-year-old former inmate. This report sparked an investigation that quickly unraveled a hidden relationship. It was discovered that Waller had engaged in sexual relations with the former inmate. The inmate had been released under community supervision in November 2019, but remained under the department's jurisdiction. A parole search of the young man's room led investigators to find explicit images and videos on his phone, capturing both Waller and the former inmate. The evidence painted a clear picture of their illicit relationship, leaving little room for Waller to deny the claims. To further strengthen the case, investigators examined Waller's own cell phone, uncovering more explicit content that mirrored the images found on the former inmate's device. Confronted with undeniable proof, Waller admitted to the relationship, seemingly closing the case. Yet, there was more. In a surprising twist, it was revealed that Waller had attempted to obstruct the investigation. During an interview, Waller discreetly brought an Apple Watch into the facility, using it during a bathroom break to call her roommate. In a whispered conversation, she instructed her roommate to contact the former inmate, urging him to deny everything and delete any incriminating evidence. Waller's actions shattered the expectations placed on juvenile correction staff. She was charged with unlawful sexual conduct, smuggling contraband, and tampering with evidence. While the last officer's secrets were discovered through messages, the next one's scandal was caught on full display. Number 7. Linda D'Souza Abro. In June 2024, the walls of London's HMP Wandsworth prison echoed with scandal. At the heart of it was 30-year-old prison officer Linda Dusza Abro, a woman with authority, but, as it turns out, a dangerous disregard for boundaries. What makes this story more disturbing? Her act wasn't hidden. It was captured on video in a shocking, nearly 5-minute clip that would soon flood the internet and spark massive outrage. On the morning of June 27th, Linda Dusza Abro, dressed in her uniform, entered the cell of inmate Linton Wearick, a convicted thief serving time for stealing £65,000. Abro was responsible for maintaining order, but what happened next was anything but professional. Unbeknownst to her, another inmate recorded the whole incident on a forbidden cell phone. What the video revealed was staggering. Abro in full prison attire engaging in intimate acts with Wearick, her prison uniform stark against the bleak prison cell. She seemed oblivious to the fact that her actions were being recorded. Within hours, that video was leaked and began making rounds on social media, sparking public disgust and immediate action. On June 28th, the very next day, Abro attempted to flee the country. She headed to Heathrow Airport, booking a one-way ticket to Madrid in a desperate attempt to leave her actions and the scandal behind. But her plan was cut short. Authorities intercepted her at the airport, arresting her just moments before she could board her flight. Reports revealed she had resigned over the phone before her arrest, claiming her husband would return her work equipment, an attempt to leave without facing the consequences. Days later, Abro confirmed her identity at Uxbridge Magistrates' Court. The charge was clear: misconduct in public office. Misconduct in public office is a grave offense in the UK, carrying a possible life sentence, and her actions had broken the public's trust. Abro was soon released on bail and slapped with strict conditions: hand over her passport, stay within the UK, and comply with a curfew. But Abro's defiance didn't end there. On social media, videos emerged of her partying with friends at Neverland London, a popular venue in Fulham. In one clip, she lifted her dress to show off her ankle monitor, referring to it as very demure, a sarcastic nod to the consequences of her actions. The display caused further backlash, as it painted her not as remorseful, but as a woman unbothered by the scandal she had sparked. On July 29th, Abro appeared at Isleworth Crown Court and pleaded guilty. Her lawyer's defense couldn't shake the public's perception. This was a betrayal of trust that would not be easily forgiven. The story doesn't just end with her. The inmate involved, Linton Wearick, was also affected by the fallout. His pregnant girlfriend was hospitalized due to stress after the video went viral. If a leaked video was damning, imagine being caught on a hidden camera installed specifically to catch you. Number 6. Shania Beum. HMP Birmingham, a high-security facility notorious for housing some of the UK's most challenging inmates, welcomed Shania Beum as a new prison officer in December 2018. Her role involved overseeing the daily activities of prisoners, ensuring their safety, and enforcing strict regulations. However, over time, Begum's professional boundaries began to blur. Like others on this list, Beum developed a romantic relationship with an inmate, Joshua Mullings. At first, their interactions seemed innocent, but they soon turned into a secret affair. The two found an unusual spot to meet away from prying eyes: the prison's store cupboard. This small, secluded space was generally used for storage and organization, but it was often empty, making it an ideal hiding place. According to court records, Beum and Mullings met there frequently, engaging in activities that ranged from flirting and play fighting to more intimate encounters, including heavy petting and sexual acts. Their secret rendezvous went unnoticed at first, but prison authorities began to grow suspicious. To confirm their concerns, a hidden camera was installed in the store cupboard. This camera provided the evidence authorities needed. Between September 22nd and September 28th, 2020, the hidden camera captured footage of Beum and Mullings engaging in various sexual activities, including instances of oral sex. The discovery of this footage led to serious consequences for Beum. Following the investigation, legal proceedings were initiated and the case was presented before Birmingham Crown Court. Faced with undeniable evidence, Beum admitted to charges of misconduct in a public office, a serious offense for which she was ultimately sentenced to 16 months in prison. While the last officer kept her encounters hidden, the next officer's actions were both shocking and in plain sight. Number 5. Tina Gonzalez. Tina Gonzalez was a respected correctional officer at the Fresno County Jail in California. Hired in September 2016, she quickly earned a reputation for being diligent and professional. However, in 2019, her life took a drastic turn that would shock her colleagues and the community alike. It all began when rumors started circulating within the jail about inappropriate relationships between staff and inmates. In December 2019, an internal investigation was launched after a tip-off suggested that Gonzalez was involved in illicit activities. The allegations were serious. She was accused of having a sexual relationship with an inmate, supplying contraband, and endangering the safety of the facility. Investigators uncovered that Gonzalez had not only engaged in a physical relationship with a 30-year-old male inmate, but had also smuggled in a cell phone, alcohol, and even razor blades. Astonishingly, it was revealed that she had cut a hole in her uniform to make her sexual encounter easier, which took place in the presence of over 10 other inmates. This blatant disregard for protocol and security stunned her superiors. In May 2020, Gonzalez was arrested and charged with sexual activity with an inmate, possession of drugs or alcohol in a jail facility, and criminal conspiracy. She was 26 years old at the time. During court proceedings, prosecutors detailed how Gonzalez had jeopardized the safety of her colleagues and the entire facility. They emphasized that her actions could have led to violence or an escape attempt, given the contraband she introduced. Colleagues expressed feelings of betrayal, noting that she had been a trusted member of the team. In June 2021, Gonzalez appeared before Judge Michael Idiart and pleaded no contest to the charges against her. She showed remorse during her sentencing, stating that she regretted her actions and the harm they caused. However, the judge noted that her behavior demonstrated a callous disregard for her duty and the law. He remarked that her actions were not only terrible and foolish, but had ultimately destroyed her career. Despite the prosecution's recommendation for a harsher sentence due to the severity of her misconduct, the judge sentenced her to 7 months in jail and 2 years of probation. He acknowledged that while her actions were horrible, her lack of a prior criminal record and acceptance of responsibility were mitigating factors. The aftermath of the case led to increased scrutiny of jail protocols in Fresno County. Officials conducted reviews of staff training, supervision, and inmate interaction policies. The goal was to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future and to restore public trust in the correctional system. An anonymous tip-off exposed Tina, but the next officer's downfall came through her own words. Number 4. Charlene OBrien. In the heart of Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas, a scandal shook the facility and left the community reeling. At the center of it all was Charlene Diane OBrien, a 33-year-old corrections officer who had been entrusted to uphold the law and maintain order within the jail. Instead, her actions would betray every ounce of that trust in ways that stunned her colleagues and the public. On November 17, 2021, OBrien crossed an unimaginable line with Jacob Parker, an inmate serving time since March on charges of firearm possession and resisting arrest. The two had a sexual encounter in a secluded area of the jail, away from surveillance cameras and hidden from the watchful eyes of fellow officers. This wasn't just a one-off incident. It was part of a pattern of secretive behavior that would soon come crashing down around her. 1 month later, on December 17th, prison authorities intercepted a recorded phone call that left no doubt about what had been going on. During the call, OBrien and Parker spoke openly, recounting their sexual encounter in explicit detail. It was all out in the open. With this call, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office launched an internal investigation, which led to OBrien's immediate suspension and eventually her arrest. During questioning, O'Banion came clean, admitting to the affair and providing investigators with every detail. She explained that because of a drug issue in the jail, there were no regular floor workers available for B Quad, one of the housing sections in the facility. To fill the gap, jail staff had started taking volunteers from another unit to perform cleaning duties in B Quad. It was during one of these cleaning rotations that O'Banion brought Parker into a secluded area where they engaged in the sexual act that would end her career. The fallout from her actions was fast and relentless. O'Banion was charged with improper sexual activity with a person in custody, a serious offense under Texas law. On May 25, 2022, she appeared in court before Montgomery County District Judge Grant. With a guilty plea, O'Banion took responsibility for her actions, but the outcome of her sentencing shocked many. Judge Grant handed down a 100-day sentence in Montgomery County Jail, the very place she had once worked as an officer. This sentence raised eyebrows, with some calling it lenient, given the nature of her misconduct and the breach of public trust. Detective Adam McHugh, who oversaw the investigation, remarked on the seriousness of the case, highlighting the risk such incidents pose to the integrity of correctional facilities. Charlene's secret slipped out in a call, but the next officer's actions were caught in a video that left no room for doubt. Number 3. Kowana Jenkins. In March 2023, Kowana Jenkins, a 36-year-old detention officer at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia, was arrested and charged with multiple offenses following the discovery of inappropriate conduct with an inmate. Jenkins, who had been employed by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office since December 2019, was terminated from her position after the incident came to light. The investigation began when a contraband cell phone was confiscated during a routine shakedown at the jail. Authorities discovered video footage on the device showing Jenkins engaging in explicit acts with a male inmate. In the video, Jenkins is seen sitting on the inmate's lap, kissing him, and performing other lewd acts. Additionally, she is observed giving the inmate a pair of Cartier eyeglasses, a prohibited item within the facility. As a result of these actions, Jenkins faced several charges, including 2 counts of improper sexual contact by an employee or agent, 5 counts of violation of oath by a public officer, 2 counts of reckless conduct, 2 counts of cruelty to inmates, and 1 count of providing an inmate with a prohibited item without authorization. Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt addressed the situation, stating that he is committed to transparency and to holding each and every employee accountable to the oath they have taken to protect and serve our community. He emphasized that Jenkins's actions were not reflective of the integrity and commitment demonstrated by the majority of the Sheriff's Office employees. The inmate involved in the incident was identified as Jamal Ward, who had been charged with murder and aggravated assault in 2015. The contraband cell phone used to record the explicit acts was one of 11 devices seized during the shakedown of the jail's maximum security wing. Kowana's actions were laid bare on film, but the next officer's scandal was hidden in thousands of secret conversations. Number 2. Katie Lockton. At HMP Oakwood Prison, 27-year-old Katie Lockton, a custody officer from Sandwell, was caught up in a scandal that exposed shocking details of her affair with inmate Adam Higgs. Higgs, a man from Grantham, Lincolnshire, wasn't just any inmate. He was serving a heavy 14-year sentence for his role in a major drug-dealing operation. Over a period of 6 months, from July 2021 to January 2022, Lockton and Higgs secretly kept their romance alive right under the noses of prison authorities. Their communication was relentless. Higgs made an astounding 3,451 phone calls to a fake contact Lockton had set up, racking up over 380 hours of talk time. This clandestine contact cost a jaw-dropping £798, with calls that reportedly included intimate conversations and, shockingly, explicit acts over the phone. But the deception didn't stop there. Higgs smuggled a mobile phone into his cell, using it to interact with Lockton on social media. Their relationship became so brazen that other prison staff started noticing Lockton's suspiciously frequent visits to Higgs's block. When questioned, she flat out denied any inappropriate behavior, trying to keep their secret hidden. but after raising enough eyebrows, prison officials decided to dig deeper. On January 27, 2022, Lockton's double life began to unravel. Authorities searched her home and found 3 handwritten love letters from Higgs. The game was up. In March, Higgs was brought in for questioning, and after a thorough investigation, both Lockton and Higgs admitted to their actions. By August 10, 2023, the pair faced Wolverhampton Crown Court. The sentences were finally handed down. Lockton was given 12 months in prison for misconduct in public office and unauthorized use of electronic devices in the prison. Higgs received an additional 8 months for possessing a smuggled device and using it to maintain unauthorized contact. If you thought Katie's actions crossed the line, wait until you see what happened in the final story. Number 1. Raphaela Martinez. Raphaela Martinez, a 51-year-old probation officer, was entrusted with the care and rehabilitation of young offenders in the heart of Los Angeles County. However, in early March of 2024, this trust was shattered when Martinez was arrested for engaging in a sexual relationship with a minor inmate under her supervision. The case began to unfold at the Dorothy Kirby Center in Commerce, California, a facility focused on juvenile rehabilitation. During a routine search, authorities discovered a contraband cell phone in the possession of a detained youth. Upon investigation, the device was found to contain explicit messages and photos exchanged between the youth and Martinez, some of which had reportedly been sent while she was on duty. On March 7, 2024, Martinez was taken into custody, facing multiple charges, including engaging in sexual acts with an inmate, arranging a meeting with a minor for lewd purposes, and introducing contraband into a detention facility. Additionally, a prescription pill container with various pills was discovered in her possession, further complicating the case. The Los Angeles County Probation Department responded, calling the alleged actions heinous and problematic on every level, and emphasizing that arrest and swift investigation are the only appropriate responses. Martinez was subsequently booked into the Century Regional Detention Facility in Linwood, California. This incident is part of a troubling pattern within the Los Angeles County Probation Department. In 2022, multiple lawsuits were filed against probation officers for alleged sexual abuse at Camp Joseph Scott, a juvenile detention facility in Santa Clarita. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.